Welcome to this slow flow yoga practice where we are focusing this evening on the union of the feminine and the masculine energy within. So, really thinking and tuning in to this energy within us that everybody has, that we all have feminine, we all have masculine, yin, yang. And it's about through our yoga practice, really tuning into the right side body, the left side body, and the energy of that, and bringing balance, bringing an intention of balancing that energy, which is it's the inner marriage, I've heard it referred to, which I thought was really beautiful. The inner marriage, which then can help balance relationships outside of yourself. So we can explore this in our physical practice and have a light awareness of that. So we're going to begin this evening seated. So finding yourself a comfortable seat, whether you choose to sit cross-legged or in Baddha Konasana perhaps, or the legs extended out in front of you. And then choosing any props or supporting items for your practice, whether you need a cushion or blocks, and making yourself comfortable. Bringing your focus inwards for a moment or two just to settle and arrive here. So perhaps that for you is closing the eyes or softening the gaze. And just take a moment to settle here and tune into the space that you're in, the environment around you. Using your senses. And being witness to what is present this evening or during this practice. What is present with you physically, emotionally, energetically. Begin by noticing your breath, really not looking to change anything in this moment, just noticing. Perhaps sensing your pulse, your heartbeat. And the rhythm of all the systems in your body working in this interconnected way. Taking your awareness down through the base of your posture and down through the floor of your building, perhaps underneath the foundations and down into the earth, the soil. Sensing perhaps the pulse of the earth, the heartbeat of the earth, the rhythms, an awareness of the activity underneath you. And the interconnectedness of everything underneath you. And how you are part of that. So as above, so below. Start to take some deeper breaths now. So really nice, generous breaths in through the nose. And perhaps sighing out through the mouth. You might like to imagine that as you breathe in, you're literally powering your energy body, your light body up as you like a battery. And as you breathe out, you're giving your gratitude for this interchange between you and the earth. Breathing in and taking in that energy. Breathing out. And giving thanks. And just take 3 more nourishing breaths like this. Sighing out through the mouth. And then we'll drop the right hand next to the right hip and start to lift the left arm up and take it over for a side bend. So reaching through left fingertips. Trying not to feel like there's any force, it's more using the breath to find space. On an inhale, take that left arm up and over, land it next to the left hip. And then as you exhale, lift right arm up and over, side bend. On your inhale, perhaps you could spiral open right side chest a little more. And on the exhale, a little gentle reach through fingertips. And we're going to flow from side to side. So on the inhale, the right arm comes up and over. On the exhale, left arm over into your bend. Inhale, left hand comes down. Exhale, right arm over. Other side, inhale, right arm comes down, hand. Exhale, left arm over. One more each side, left hand down, right arm over as you breathe out. Inhale, right hand down. Exhale, left arm over. Inhaling back to center. And then take the hands out in front of you here. If your legs are extended, you could place them on your thighs. But see if you can just creep your hands forwards. And again, not too much of a force here, just until you start feeling that sensation around your hips, your glutes. And with those deep breaths, breathing in, feeling the shoulder blades find some space. And as you breathe out, maybe the fingertips creeping forwards a little more. Keep breathing here. And exhaling. One more really deep breath in. And as you exhale, using your hands to come back up. If you're elevated on a block here, you could remove that for now. And we'll place the hands on the knees just for support. So if actually you can do this with the legs extended in front of you, but we're going to start to make some big circles. So it's kind of like a cat-cow where you're leaning your chest bone forwards and then you're revolving around, holding onto the knees for support. I think sometimes this is called kind of stirring the pot. So you're moving around the hip space, leaning forward and bringing your chest bone forward. And then as you exhale, rounding in the shoulders and slightly leaning back. So we move around. And sometimes with this move, it helps to close the eyes if that feels okay. Or you could soften your gaze. Maybe getting some little clicks and pops as you explore the space. Going from right side to left side and really exploring both hips. And then taking it in the other direction. And slowing down where you meet resistance. You could slow down through that. And keeping the breath flowing. So maybe as you come round to the front, you could inhale. And as you come round to the back, you could exhale. Let's do 2 more circles. Almost think of it like we've got the base of your posture connected with the ground. And it's like we're stirring. We're stirring something in the body. Stirring the energy, the agni, the fire within the core. And then slowly coming to stillness. And we'll unwrap the legs from here. Bring the knees together. Hug your arms around your shins and we'll drop forehead to the knees. Breathing here. And perhaps then slightly leaning back so we get this feeling of the rounding in the shoulder blades. Taking really generous breath in through the nose. And exhale out through the mouth. Another deep breath in. And an exhale. Good. On the inhale, lifting the gaze up, releasing the arms, and we'll bring ourselves around onto all fours in tabletop. Stacking the joints. And checking your foundations so the fingers spread really wide. The shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees. And we'll take a deep breath in here, starting to arch in the back and lower the belly as you lift the chin. And as you exhale, tucking and rounding, look back to your belly. Inhale, open up. Exhale, tuck and round, chin to chest. Inhaling, arching your spine. Exhaling, rounding in the shoulders. Continuing to move through this, dropping the belly. Exhaling, exploring the space, maybe pressing the ground away from you to create more. Inhale, open up, lift up the chin. Exhale, tuck the chin right in, look back to belly. 2 more like this. Inhale, arch the spine. Exhale, tuck pelvis, press the ground away. Last one, dropping your belly downwards. Exhale as you draw navel back up, rounding in the shoulders. Inhaling back to center. Then we're going to start to make some circles with the shoulders and the hips. So we're still rounding in the shoulders and tucking the pelvis, but we're doing this in more of a circular movement. So thinking of it like a kind of like a figure of 8, lifting up and then tucking your head back down. So circling in the hips and the shoulders. And it doesn't matter if it looks exactly like I'm doing it, just let your body move. It doesn't have to be one way. And whichever way you're going, reverse the direction. And slowly calming back to a neutral spine. So just holding that position there where there's this slight tuck of the belly button up towards the spine. So we keep neutral here. And then open up the left arm. And as you breathe out, we'll thread that left arm across, drop left shoulder down, resting the head, resting the right arm. Breathing in, feeling the stretch across that left shoulder blade down the top of the arm. Allowing the breath to be lengthened and generous, calming and nurturing. Getting a stretch in your left shoulder. And shoulders, we tend to carry a lot of feelings of responsibility and, overwhelm, burden, that kind of thing. The shoulds on your shoulders. So in this pose, we could breathe through some of that, find some space to put some of those things down. On your inhale, using your right hand to bring yourself back up. Pressing into the left hand now for stability, opening up the right arm, finding your twist. And as you exhale, thread that right arm across, dropping the right shoulder down, resting the head, stretching through that right shoulder, shoulder blade, down the arm. Feeling some space on the inhale, and then settling into that space on the exhale. Breathing to expand, and exhaling to settle. One more deep breath there. Exhale. On your inhale, using left hand to come back up, we're going to lift this right knee. So hover it off the mat here. You could have your left toes untucked, or you might tuck them. Just choose the one that feels more supportive. And we're going to circle that right knee around. Some nice big circles, trying to keep the body stable as you do this. So we're isolating the knee and the glutes, building some strength. And then take that knee in the other direction. You're feeling into your right hip. So your right side body is where we have the masculine energy, the yang energy, the getting things done energy, And then dropping that right knee down. Let's take that to the other side. Hover the left knee for a moment here. And then start to slowly circle in that left knee to really explore your hip. Lifting the knee out to the side, drawing it back around and through. Just really explore the whole range of that movement. Using your breath to support you. And then take it in the other direction. One more circle around, and then drop that left knee down. Send the hips back and take the knees apart for a child's pose here. We're starting to reach the hands forwards, drop the head down to a block or to the mat. Maybe creep the fingertips forwards a little bit. And turn your attention back to your breath. So as you breathe in, really notice the ribs expand, the belly inflate. And as you exhale, the belly softens, the ribs soften. This expansion and contraction. The rise and the fall, the ebb and the flow. On an inhale, starting to lift your head back up, walking the hands back underneath you, the knees back underneath you. And taking one more cat-cow here, dropping the belly and lifting the chin. And as you exhale, tuck and round. This time you might tent the fingertips to create more space as you tuck your sit bones. On your inhale, come back to center and then drop your hands back down. And we'll move here into downward facing dog. So tucking the feet, the toes, starting to hover the knees here. You might stay in the hover for a little moment and then start to raise the hips up. Stepping the feet in a little bit perhaps and moving through your downward facing dog to explore. Pedaling in the feet. Dropping one heel and then the other. And perhaps twisting from side to side, twisting the hips to get a bit of side body space. Coming to stillness when you're ready, letting the head be heavy. So nod the head yes and shake the head no. Take a really deep breath in and out through the mouth. On your inhale, press through the hands, press the ground away. And on your exhale, lifting tailbone. Another breath in as you feel the ribs expand. And a breath out as you feel the head relax. On an inhale, look to the top of the mat and we'll take a little mindful walk to the front. Little baby steps. I have a little practice buddy this evening. Coming to the front of the mat and finding a ragdoll. So we take the feet wide apart, bending the knees to allow upper body to hang, using some gravity here. The arms might dangle or you could take hold of opposite elbows. Hopefully creating some space between the discs of your spine. Or perhaps just easing some tension along the spine. Maybe swaying from side to side or stillness. And releasing the hands, bringing the feet underneath the hips. We'll take a real deep breath in to expand the belly. And then on the exhale, rolling up the spine. Head coming up last. Taking your time here. Coming into Tadasana, foundational pose of the practice, mountain pose. Turning the palms of the hands forwards. And focusing on the soles of the feet, pressing down into the ground. Taking a deep breath in and lifting the arms up. Feel the ribs lift. And on your exhale, take the hands behind you and interlace fingers. Keeping a bend in the elbows. We're going to take the back of the left hand and hug it into right side waist. And taking a deep breath in here. On your exhale, soften the right ear to the right shoulder. Keeping a little tuck of your pelvis and the connection through the soles of the feet. Breathe into the left side neck. As you exhale, maybe you could soften the right shoulder too. Another deep breath in here. And exhale. On an inhale, bring the head back to the center and we'll take the hands around to the other side, back of the right hand to left side waist. Breathe in and lengthen. Breathe out, left ear towards the left shoulder. Press the palm of the left hand against the right. And maybe rotate your jaw a couple of times here. On an inhale, bringing the head back to center, releasing the hands and the grip of the hands. A little shake out in the hands. Maybe you want to get the arms involved as well for a moment here and loosen the shoulders. If you're doing this after a long day, maybe you want to brush down your arms as well, like a little energy cleanse. Brush down the arms, brush down the chest and the body and down the legs. Maybe down the backs and the sides. Coming back up to standing and we'll lift the arms up. And as you exhale, take a slow forward fold down towards the ground. And inhale for a halfway lift to find this flat back. And as you exhale, drop the hands down and we're going to step the legs back to downward facing dog. So finding your down dog, breathing in here, letting the head be heavy. Hello, Caddy. Stepping and pedaling through the feet. And coming to stillness here, take a really deep breath in, feel the ribs expand, the belly inflate. And on an exhale, we'll look forwards. We'll step the right foot through to land between the hands. You could modify by dropping the left knee down first, and then giving that right foot a hand all the way through to a low lunge. On an inhale, we'll start to lift up and lift the arms here. On an exhale, we'll take left arm forwards and right arm back. Find a little twist, pressing down through the feet to keep you steady. Relaxing in the face and the jaw. On the inhale, coming back to center. And on the exhale, dropping your hands down to frame the front foot and find a half split. So sending the hips back and extension, some extension in this front leg. Flexing and pointing the front foot. And then rebending in your right knee, we'll take the right foot to the outer edge of the mat. So coming more into a lizard pose, but we're going to do this as a bit of a stretch. So taking the left hand out to the side. So you want to give yourself some space to kind of lean across. So your left hand might come outside of the mat. And then we start to lean the weight through the left hand, dropping that left hip down a little bit. So we're sinking into the left front of the hip. And then this right hand can take hold of the right thigh. And we start to gently ease the right thigh away from you. So that might mean you end up straightening your arm if you've got that much space. And you could come onto the outer blade of your right foot. So lift up the sole. And then if you let the head go, you might get a little bonus space and stretch into your neck. And let's add, make sure that we're breathing nice and generously and slowing that breath down. This is quite an intense stretch. Really finding an opening in the muscles around the right hip and that left hip flexor. On your inhale, release the right thigh, bring the hands back, center, and heel toe the right foot all the way across to the left this time. And we'll take the arms, the hands over to the right to support yourself, bringing the right thigh down so that we come into this kind of half pigeon for a real stretch. So if I turn around the other way, I'm stretching into the hips this evening. So where you landed on that right thigh, just take a look at your legs and you're going to have a bend in the back knee and a bend in the front. And if you can, you could get your shin to come reasonably parallel with the front of the neck. Now, the idea is to rotate yourself around. So you're walking the hands around towards that right foot. And then seeing if you can lean towards the right foot. So the chest bone is coming down. Now, a couple of modifications here that could be really good is you could raise your right thigh up onto a block. So you could lift up and slide a block underneath just the right top of the right thigh, like literally under the sit bone. So you're on that big flat edge, so it's a bit more comfortable. What that's going to do is help you to tip forward towards the foot. And you will, well, my intention is that you'll really feel a stretch down the outside of your right hip and probably down the outside of your thigh, maybe the inside of your thigh. Now you might be elevated, that might be enough on your fingertips. Or you might have space to drop the right forearm down and interlace the fingers around the ball of that right foot. So dropping into this and staying here for a few breaths, let's say 5 breaths, so that you can really slow down those 5 deep breaths in your own time, feeling the expansion at the back of your heart. And exhaling, long and slow. On each breath, inflating your belly and finding some softness. And exhale, moving into that softness.
Slowly finishing up here on the right side of your body. So energetically, this is the masculine energy on this side. Slowly using your hands to come up. And then we're going to transition into downward facing dog. So you could come over onto the right shin, plant the hands down to prepare, and tucking the left toes, starting to lift the right knee, maybe hovering it there as an option. And then taking the right foot back, extending the right leg, bending the left knee. Breathing into the space up the back of your right leg. And take it to the other side. Bend the right knee and extend the left leg. You're coming back to center. Being really aware of both sides of your body as you press through the hands and get a lift in your tailbone. Pressing equal weight through the right hand and the left hand. And on your inhale, looking forwards, and this time we'll step that left foot through to land between the hands. Stepping it through or taking the modification by dropping the right knee first. Untucking your right toes and press the feet down to the ground so that you can drive up into this low lunge, lifting the arms up. And as you exhale, take the right arm forwards, the left arm back. Plugging the feet downwards to really stay in your center. On the inhale, slowly returning to center, lifting the arms up. And on the exhale, framing that left foot. Find a half split here, sending the hips back. Some extension in the front leg as you flex and point the left foot. On an inhale, rebending the left knee, and now heel toe that left foot to the edge. So we're coming into that lizard stretch. So whether you can explore the space, maybe the left foot could edge forwards a little bit. Just, it's different for everybody. So using the right hand, we'll take that outside of the mat so that you've got a bit more space to lean across. So the right shoulder is over the right wrist. You're dropping into the front of your right hip. That's the sensation. The left hand taking hold of left thigh and gently easing the thigh away from you. Maybe with the space to come on to the outer blade of your left foot. Let the head relax. Stay with the breath and the awareness around your hip space. The right hip with the flexor at the front of that right hip. Creating some space there. And then some space around the muscles that work around the left hip. Attach down into your hamstrings. And to the lower part of your spine, your lower back. Really good. And then releasing that left hand, using your hands to support you as you heel toe left foot all the way across to the other side. So we're going to drop down into that half pigeon. So with your hands to support you on that left side, drop the left thigh down and then take a look at your legs here, a bend in both knees. And we can take the same options as we did the other side. You can use a block here. So half pigeon is quite different from full pigeon. And some would say that it feels more of a stretch, but you know, everybody is different in their bodies. So if it feels super tight around your left hip, to be able to kind of start leaning forwards to the left foot, we can raise up onto the block, placing that flat edge under the outside of your left thigh, which is just going to help you to hinge forwards a little bit. Yeah, so we'll rotate the hands and frame the left foot. Being elevated on your fingertips might be enough sensation in your left hip. Or you might have space to drop the forearms down and interlace fingers around the ball of your left foot. Ooh, coming into that left hip space, noticing the sensation around that. So the left side of your body being energetically your feminine energy, the yin, could be expressed as the energy of going with the flow, let's say, or surrendering and trusting and using our intuition and our felt sense of the world. Whereas the right side body and how that is expressed energetically could be the more kind of logic and the doing of things, the masculine energy. Perhaps sometimes, you know, a little forceful, or the yang, you know. So just being aware of the two different energies and how they need to work together in balance. Stay focused on your breath. As you allow those sensations in the stretch. So by being aware of this inner union of feminine and masculine energy within us, we can start to feel that emerging in our lives as well, where we might be leaning more into both energies rather than being dominant in one or the other, like finding balance. Aligning with the feminine energy within us, you could reflect on your life right now and what is present in your life and how you could cultivate more of a sense of trust, faith, and kind of this surrendering of attachment to any outcome, and going step by step. That's feminine energy. Being really present. And starting to ease your way out of this nice and slowly, coming up using the hands and lifting the block from underneath you if you used that, and we'll help the right leg all the way around. So that we extend the right leg and bend the left knee. We'll take the left foot over the other side of the right. And then reach up with the right arm and hug it around the left knee, left fingertips behind you for a twist here. And you might really use your right arm to hug the left knee across. So you get this stretch down the outside of your thigh. And then coming around for a little counter twist, bringing the hands to the right side. And on your inhale, coming back to center, extending the left leg now and bending the right knee. Taking this right foot over the other side. Paddy's doing an upward facing dog here. Taking the right foot over the other side, lifting the left arm up this time and wrapping it around the right thigh, the right fingertips behind you. Using the fingertips to lift and lengthen. So that same feeling of on your in-breath, you're really creating space. And on your out-breath, maybe feeling that you're settling into that space in the twist. And on your next breath, finding the counter twist, taking the hands all the way around to the left. And on your inhale, coming back to center, unwrapping the right foot, bending both knees now and making sure you've got some room behind you to come down onto your back. Keeping a block handy just in case. Coming down onto your back. Maybe a slow, controlled descent, or using your forearms to come down with support. And bringing the heels close to the butt, taking hold of your block. And we'll take a restorative bridge. So lifting the hips up and coming up onto the balls of your feet, placing either the tall, thin edge or the long, thin edge, or the flat edge of the block, depending on how your back is feeling. So not forcing anything, just going with the space that you have available. And then once you're steady on the block and you feel that connection into the flat part, your sacrum, release the glutes, release any engagement in your lower glutes. And feel that balance between left glute and right glute, left hip and right hip. Working up your body, the left hand and the right hand, letting any gripping go from the fingers and the arms. The left shoulder and the right shoulder, releasing any gripping there, any tension. And the left side face and the right side face. Feeling the rise and fall of your chest and your belly and the expansion of your ribs as you breathe. And we'll come out of this gently in your own time, no rush. Just slowly lifting off the block, maybe on the balls of your feet to create space for that. And then slowly allow yourself to curl down the spine all the way through the mid-back, the lower back, and then the tailbone, resting the hips down. Lifting the feet off here and hugging around your knees. And then roll your knees over to the left. Extending your right arm here. Finding a supine twist. And aware of your right side chest. And perhaps the breath finding some space there. And keeping the knees over to the left and hugged up, extend the left arm out next to you as well. So you're just using your natural flexibility to keep the knees in place. Then we're going to lift this right arm up, making a big arc all the way over. And you might kind of twist over to this side. And the right hand could reach the left hand. So we'll take that movement again on the inhale, lifting the right arm up. So you start to roll back and open the right arm. And then breathing as you bring that right arm over. And maybe rolling slightly so the right hand reaches the left. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, opening the right arm up. And exhale, taking that right arm over to the left. Last one. Inhale, rolling back, opening out that right arm. Exhale, bringing right arm all the way over, land the right hand on the left or towards it. On your inhale, come back to center, hug the knees back into the chest, and then roll over onto your left side. You can start by hugging the knees in for the twist with the left arm extended. Awareness of the left side of your chest. And then leaving the knees where they are. Extend that right arm out next to you. So your arms are in a big T shape. And on the inhale, the left arm is going to come up towards the ceiling and then start its descent over to the right hand. So it means you'll roll over a little bit. And on the inhale, on the exhale rather, taking that left arm up and back over. So there's this slight rolling that's happening. Inhale, left arm comes over, the hand going towards the right hand. Exhale, left arm coming back over. Everything nice and slow to really feel. 2 more of these. Inhale, left arm all the way over, making this big arc. Exhale, left arm all the way back, the back of the hand meeting the floor maybe. 1 more there. Inhale as the left arm comes all the way over. Maybe the palms meet. And on the exhale, that left arm going all the way back, perhaps the back of the hand touching the floor. On the inhale, bring the left arm, hand back to your knees to bring them back to center. And then find a happy baby here. So take the soles of the feet up. Use the hands at the backs of the thighs to encourage the knees wide apart. And either stay like this the hands at the backs of your thighs, kind of drawing them, hugging them into your chest. Or you might reach for the feet, outer edges or big toes. And get a sense of grounding your arms back into their sockets. So it's like you're making contact with the ground through your shoulder blades. Perhaps a little rocking motion from side to side to massage across the back and the spine. And releasing the feet and hugging the knees into your chest. And we'll make our way into Shavasana, extending the legs, using any props that you need, whether it's blocks or cushions or a blanket. Coming into your Shavasana this evening, which obviously, if you're doing this on the replay, making it as long as you need. I invite you to take a long Shavasana if you need one. And allowing yourself to rest. Letting the body soften against the ground. The breath be natural and to take care of itself whilst you rest. Softly begin to bring some awareness back into your space, sensing the ground underneath you. Awareness of the parts of your body that are in connection with the ground. You're starting to deepen your breath as you invite yourself back. Taking a real generous in-breath, feeling the expansion, and then lengthen out your out-breath. Starting to tip the head from one side to the other. Rolling rolling it from side to side and making some little movements in your fingers and your toes. Perhaps a full body stretch here. And bringing one knee into your chest, followed by the other, hugging the knees in and taking a roll over onto your right side into fetal pose. Little pause here. And use your left hand to support yourself as you come up. To close the practice in a seated position. Bringing the palms of your hands together, resting your thumbs against your sternum, your heart space, and taking a deep breath in. Open your mouth and breathe out. Bowing your head down to the ground, to your heart, to your body, in gratitude, in reverence. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.